Long before man took his first steps on the surface of the earth, the world was ruled by the jinn. They were the Khalifa, created of fire, but not fire, in the same way that man would be created of clay, but not clay. Like mankind, they were created with free will to choose the right path or the wrong one. Many jinn rebelled and chose the path of injustice and oppression. Killing and chaos spread across the earth. One jinn stood out as different. And he was given a place among the angels. He was Iblis. When the situation on earth became too dire, Allah sent an army of angels to destroy the evil jinn. It is disputed whether this army was led by Iblis himself, or whether due to his piety Iblis was brought before Allah at the end of the battle. What the Quran supports, however, is that he was a jinn raised among the ranks of Allah's closest angels. Of all the creatures of Allah who were kept close to Allah, Iblis alone had the power to choose between good and evil. With the defeat of the jinn, Iblis saw an opening for himself to become Khalifa over the world. Only Allah knew that Iblis was harboring dark thoughts. Allah's laws meant he would not punish Iblis for thoughts alone, but only for his actions. He would be tested. The test came in an unexpected form. Allah took some clay and created Adam, the first man to be Khalifa on earth. The angels could not understand why Allah would create a new Khalifa on earth after their battle to remove the old ones. Allah told the angels that he knew what they didn't. Did he mean that he knew the hidden intentions of Iblis? Or did he know that the offspring of Adam would produce a few who would truly be worthy of leading the earth? Men who would be worth bowing down to? Perhaps both. As he asked the angels and Iblis to bow down to Adam, all angels did as they were told, but Iblis refused with the words, "I am better than he. Thou did create me from fire and him from clay." Iblis had failed the test. He had openly disobeyed Allah, and his dark intentions were exposed for all to see. He was cursed by Allah and would have been sent immediately to hell. Iblis was still full of rage for Adam, however, and saw a chance to get his revenge on mankind. He asked for a respite and long life, so that he could test man as he had been tested, lead man astray, and prove them no better than he. I will lie in wait for mankind on your straight path. Then will I assault them from before them and behind them, from their right and their left, nor will you find in most of them gratitude. Allah granted him this respite until a time of Allah's choosing, not the time of the resurrection of man as Iblis asked, but a time long enough to put mankind to the test. Allah banished Iblis with the words, "Get out from this, disgraced and expelled. If any of them follow you, hell will I fill with you all." Allah would banish any man who failed the test, to reside in hell alongside Iblis. Allah had confidence in mankind, however. Confidence that there would be many among the race of man who Iblis could not corrupt. To help man, there would be people to help guide them along the right path, even as Iblis tried to draw them from it. This would ultimately converge in the final battle between Iblis and the last of the guides, the promised one, Imam Mahdi. Imam Mahdi is not a prophecy, it is a promise, and the time is now. The subject of this documentary film is unique. On one side is Iblis, a virtually immortal creature made from smokeless fire, a jinn driven by thousands of years of bitterness, hatred, pride, and anger. On the other side is the perfect human, appointed by Allah to guide us and help us, the legendary 12th Imam, Imam Mahdi, the master of our time, anticipated by billions and awaited for centuries. Foretold and promised by the Prophet himself in many authentic hadith. Disbelieving in the Mahdi is like disbelief in the last and final prophet, Prophet Muhammad. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and his pure progeny. In what is perhaps one of the most relevant hadith for all times, the Holy Prophet says, "Whosoever dies without recognizing the Imam of his time dies the death of the Jahiliyyah." But before we discuss this, let us discuss the harbinger of darkness, Iblis. Allah and his beloved Prophet have warned us against this formidable enemy. Imagine an enemy so powerful that he can't be seen by humans, and yet he can whisper and suggest directly to the deepest part of your soul. An enemy who has been granted a lifespan far surpassing any human. This is Iblis, also known as Shaitan. He is also known as the deceiver, as his longevity gives him thousands of years of experience learning to deceive mankind. He has learned much and adapted to a world where many know of him and are cautious of him. Especially after the coming of the final prophet, Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and his pure progeny. He stands with an army of both jinn and men to aid him in his dark labor. Almost immortal, Iblis has trained generation after generation of fiery shayateen, filling them with rage and animosity towards mankind and honing their skills in the art of deception. What chance do we mere mortals stand against such an enemy? Our only hope lies along the path to Allah. But this path is not made of concrete, nor can you walk this path with your feet. You walk this path with your decisions. The path has to be lived. You cannot see the path, but you can follow someone who is on that path. That is probably why the Prophet has asked us to pray for this 17 times in a day. We ask Allah to keep us on the path of those who are special for Allah, those upon whom He has bestowed His favors. Their path is the straight path, we say. We say this and ask for this in every salah, every cycle of every obligatory prayer, 17 times in a day. O Lord, keep us on the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed your favors, not the path of those who have incurred your displeasure, nor of those who have gone astray. You can follow Iblis, or you can choose to follow the guided ones who are on the straight path to Allah. The person whom you follow is your Imam. Following the guided ones, or the Imams, is one of the most important concepts taught by the last and final prophet of Islam. It is so important that the Prophet has emphasized it in his hadith that is accepted to be true by all Muslim schools of thought. This hadith of the Prophet is so clear and so powerful in its support of a concept that is sadly ignored by his ummah. We risk our entire faith by ignoring this important hadith of the Prophet. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and his pure progeny. What is that important hadith?